Hey everyone, welcome back to I Dare You Sleep. I know a lot of you love to fall asleep to these creepy stories, but before you do, leave a comment and let me know where you're listening from around the world. And if you're enjoying the thrills, don't forget to like, subscribe, and see if you can make it through without losing any sleep.
Captain Declan, a weathered seafarer with haunted eyes, led the crew. His first mate, Amelia, possessed a gaze as sharp as the stars but carried secrets deeper than the ocean's abyss. Alongside them were Jake, the seasoned sailor, and Lily, the adventurous spirit seeking thrills beyond the horizon. Their journey was shrouded in mystery, whispered tales of lost treasures, and cursed waters guiding their course. As the clock struck midnight, the ocean's surface seemed to ripple with an unsettling energy, as if unseen eyes watched from the depths below. The crew pressed on, their lanterns casting feeble glimmers across the inky blackness. But soon, strange occurrences plagued their voyage. Whispers carried on the wind, words lost to time, echoing from nowhere and everywhere all at once. Shadows danced at the edge of perception, flickering between the waves, teasing the crew with glimpses of horrors unseen. Amelia's once steady hands trembled as she scanned the horizon, her senses tingling with a foreboding dread. Captain Declan muttered ancient incantations beneath his breath, invoking protections against the malevolent forces that lurked in the darkness. But even his weathered soul quivered with uncertainty in the face of the unknown. Jake, the skeptic among them, laughed off their fears, clinging to logic in a world where reason held little sway. But his bravado faltered when Lily, the youngest of the crew, vanished without a trace. Panic seized the remaining sailors as they scoured the ship, calling out her name into the empty expanse of the ocean. In the heart of the bustling metropolis of Crestfallen, where skyscrapers loomed tall and the neon lights of the city never dimmed, there stood the Crestfallen Archives, a labyrinthine repository of knowledge and secrets. And at its helm was Gabriel Blackwood, the stoic curator burdened by a dark legacy that spanned generations. Gabriel was a man of few words, his piercing gaze betraying the weight of the secrets he carried. He had inherited the archives from his ancestors, the enigmatic Blackwood family, whose name was whispered with a mixture of reverence and fear by those who knew of their legacy. For centuries, the Blackwoods had been keepers of forbidden knowledge, their archives a treasure trove of arcane tomes and occult artifacts. But with each passing generation, the curse that haunted their bloodline grew stronger, threatening to consume all who dared to delve too deep into its mysteries. And Gabriel knew better than most the dangers that lurked within the shadows of the archives, for he had spent a lifetime uncovering the dark truths that lay hidden within its depths, his own soul scarred by the horrors he had witnessed. But amidst the dusty tomes and faded manuscripts, Gabriel had stumbled upon a relic unlike any other, a cursed artifact known only as the Ossuary of Whispers. Bound in ancient bone and etched with sigils of power, the ossuary held untold secrets and whispered promises of forbidden knowledge. Driven by a thirst for understanding that bordered on obsession, Gabriel had delved into the depths of the ossuary, heedless of the warnings that echoed in the recesses of his mind. And as he spoke the words of power that lay within, he unwittingly unleashed a force beyond his control, a darkness that threatened to consume everything he held dear. As the shadows began to stir within the archives, Gabriel knew that he had unleashed a horror that could not be contained. Desperate to undo his mistake, he sought out ancient spells of protection and incantations of banishment, but the darkness was relentless, its hunger insatiable. In the heart of the ocean, where the moon's silver glow struggles to pierce the veil of darkness, the Eclipse Explorer sailed silently, its crew of daring adventurers braving the unknown with each passing moment. Commander Asher, a stoic figure with a haunted past etched into the lines of his weathered face, led the expedition with a determination born of desperation. Beside him stood Marina, the ship's engineer, her brilliant mind tempered by a deep-rooted fear of the ancient mysteries that lurked beneath the waves. Among the crew was Kai, the fearless diver whose lust for adventure knew no bounds, and Maya, the enigmatic scholar, whose thirst for knowledge often led her into the darkest corners of the world. Their journey was one of peril and uncertainty, a relentless battle against the unseen forces that sought to drag them into the abyss. Whispers of forgotten curses and vengeful spirits haunted their every step, while shadows danced along the edges of their consciousness, threatening to consume them whole. As the night wore on and the darkness deepened, a sense of unease settled over the Eclipse Explorer like a suffocating fog. Strange phenomena plagued the ship, from ghostly apparitions that flickered in and out of existence to eerie whispers that seemed to emanate from the very depths of the ocean itself. Commander Asher, his resolve tested to its limits, clung to the helm with unwavering determination, his gaze fixed upon the horizon with a steely intensity that belied the fear gnawing at his heart. But it was Marina who first sensed the true nature of their predicament. With a trembling hand, she pointed towards the water, her voice barely above a whisper as she spoke of ancient terrors that slumbered beneath the ocean's surface, waiting to claim their souls. Kai, ever the skeptic, laughed off her warnings, dismissing them as the fanciful imaginings of a troubled mind. But his laughter turned to terror when Maya, her eyes wide with horror, suddenly vanished from their midst, swallowed whole by the inky blackness below. With their companion lost to the depths, the remaining crew members found themselves gripped by a primal fear, unlike anything they had ever known. Desperate to escape the nightmare that had consumed their voyage, they turned the Eclipse Explorer towards home, their hearts heavy with the weight of the horrors they had witnessed. As the first light of dawn broke across the horizon, they stumbled ashore, their bodies battered and bruised, their minds forever scarred by the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of the ocean's depths. And though they tried to leave the memory of that fateful night behind them, they knew that some horrors could never be forgotten, lingering like shadows in the deepest recesses of their souls. In the heart of the Pacific Ocean, where the waves roared with the ferocity of ancient titans, there was an expedition unlike any other. Dr. Evelyn Hartley, renowned marine biologist, led the daring journey into the uncharted depths. Her reputation preceded her, for she had delved into the mysteries of the ocean with a fervor that bordered on obsession. Accompanying her was a team of seasoned sailors and scientists, each carrying their own burden of curiosity and dread. Their vessel cut through the tumultuous waters like a knife through flesh, its hull groaning under the weight of the ocean's mysteries. As they ventured further from the safety of the coast, the skies darkened and the sea churned with an ominous energy. Dr. Hartley stood at the prow, her gaze fixed on the horizon where the sun dipped below the waves, casting the world into shadows. She felt a sense of foreboding creeping over here, a primal instinct warning her of the dangers that lurked beneath the surface. Their destination lay deep within the Mariana Trench, a place where the pressure was so intense that even the bravest souls trembled at the thought of descending into its abyssal depths. But Dr. Hartley was undeterred, driven by a thirst for knowledge that bordered on madness. As they reached the edge of the trench, the crew prepared to lower the submersible into the darkness below. Captain Shaw watched with a heavy heart, his hands gripping the railing as if clinging to sanity itself. He had heard whispers of the things that dwelled in the depths, whispered tales of creatures that defied description and comprehension. With a sense of trepidation, the submersible descended into the abyss, its lights piercing the darkness like beacons of hope in a world devoid of light. Dr. Hartley peered through the reinforced glass, her heart pounding in her chest as she beheld sights that no human eye had ever seen. But as they delved deeper, a sense of unease settled over the crew like a shroud. Strange echoes reverberated through the water, whispers that seemed to emanate from the very depths of the earth. Shadows danced in the corners of their vision, elusive shapes that defied logic and reason. And then, without warning, disaster struck. The submersible lurched violently, its hull buckling under the pressure of an unseen force. Panic erupted among the crew as they struggled to regain control, but it was too late. With a deafening roar, the ocean swallowed them whole, dragging them into its cold embrace. In the darkness of the abyss, Dr. Hartley's screams were lost to the void as she beheld the true horror that lurked beneath the surface. Eyes, countless eyes, stared back at her from the depths, their gaze filled with a malevolence that chilled her to the bone. As the last traces of light faded from sight, Captain Shaw's voice echoed in her mind, a haunting refrain that spoke of the folly of mankind and the wrath of the ocean. And in that moment, as the darkness consumed her, Dr. Hartley knew that some secrets were never meant to be uncovered.